And so we go into court, and his lawyer, it's funny, his lawyer was there, and his lawyer's like, I don't even know what we're here to talk about. And I'm like, ooh, I do. We're here to talk about, these few things, but I'd also like to present the fact that we don't have to talk about him decreasing his child support obligations. Why don't we just talk about the fact that he hasn't paid for 8 months? And the judge was like, you haven't paid child support in 8 months? You haven't paid like anything? And so my ex was like, no, 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 I haven't, because I've had all these other things that I've had to pay. And the judge is like, oh, like what? And so my ex was like, oh, I had to pay, I got to pay rent. I live with my mom. His mom was sitting behind him. I live with my mom, and I got to pay my mom rent, and I got to pay the utilities. I pay a third of utilities because his adult brother and him live with his mom. So the three of them, split the bills. And I got to pay for like repairs on my car and like my cell phone. And he just keeps on going on and on and on about all these things that he's got to pay for. So the judge is writing it all down, and I'm sitting there like, man, he's just going to have all these excuses as to why he's not going to pay. And then, so I was like, well, he also said that he's going to, pay a lawyer instead. So I handed in those text messages. The judge took those. And then we're kind of going back and forth, and he's getting a little skittish. And then I was like, oh, and, it's crazy. It's just crazy. He hasn't had any money beyond his bills. But here is all of the evidence of every poker game he's attended for the last 8 months every Thursday. And what's crazy about it too? It shows how much he spent in poker, because I don't know, it's an online thing. The judge looks at me and he goes, how did you find this? And I'm like, I don't know, it was posted on Facebook. He's like, he looks at my ex, he goes, is this true? My ex started to tear up. His voice started cracking. He's like, ah, 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 ah. His lawyer looked at him and was like, so that was fun. So yeah, the judge was none too pleased, and he was like, we're doing a show cause hearing. We're going to talk about, pause. So the judge was like, yeah, we'll talk about this at the show cause, and we'll figure out, the reason why you haven't been paying. But until then, you really got to pay, because you know where this is headed.
I have court updates. So me and my child's father went to court this past Monday. Well, I went to court and he called in from Florida. If you're unfamiliar with the process, he filed for DNA and paternity. So on Monday, it literally was just to say the results, and then that was it. I didn't add him to the birth certificate at the hospital. So now that the DNA test obviously showed that he was the father, then he gets added to the birth certificate now, which legally recognizes him as the father, even though he has been recognized as the father this whole time. But yeah. But when I tell you, ever since that day, everything has gone like completely downhill. So I just took my son to Miami about a month ago now to see his dad, because his dad moved out of state when he was like 10 months old, which he doesn't seem to think is a problem at all. And he said he's been an active and present father. Anyways, things are fine. I have no beef with him at all. But now that there's like legal things in place, I want everything to be laid out and structured, which is going to only benefit our dynamic for Maverick's sake. Maverick is my son, and he will not agree with me on anything or work with me on anything. So let me ask y'all this question, please. Please let me ask y'all this question. What would you do if you have a child with somebody and y'all are not together, and their family never spoke to you during your pregnancy, their family never came to see your child when they were first born, the family never FaceTimes the child, the family never says anything to the child? Would you send your 16-month-old child to stay for 3 days without you, with these people that, yes, they're your child's family, but your child does not know them and they do not know your child? Would you just send your child to go stay with them without them meeting your child first? So my son is almost 16 months old now. When he was 6 months old, his father's side of the family still would not come down to see him. I invited them to my parents' house when we were living there. I invited them to the hospital after I gave birth so that they could come see the baby. They literally said, quote, on the phone, on FaceTime, that they'll wait until I'm comfortable to bring the baby up to them. They live about 2 hours away. That never sat right with me, but I was like, you know what? I'm freshly postpartum. I had too much going on, so I was like, whatever. Like, if they don't want to come to where my child lives, then that's just on them. But the invitation was out there, and they also were invited to my son's first birthday party, and they didn't come. Anyways, when my son was 6 months old, I was like, you know what? I'll take the baby up there. Okay? I'll take the baby up there. I ended up staying and hanging out with a friend in the city that weekend, which was about 20 minutes from where my son was. So I was close by. I was still breastfeeding at the time, and so I was close by when the whole milk situation happened. But moral of the story, I was close by, and I paid money for a hotel. Like, I paid a lot of money for a weekend in DC for them to be able to see my child. But again, he was 6 months old. He was like a little potato, so he didn't really know what was going on. And again, I was close. Now he's 16 months old. Strangers scare him. I'm his comfort person because I take care of him every single day. I'm with him every single day. And if he doesn't like something or is uncomfortable with something, he runs and clings to me because I'm with him every day. I take care of him every day. His dad does not live here. He doesn't even see his dad once a month right now. Like, this year so far, his dad's seen him like once every 2 months. And one of those times was because I took him to Miami. So yes, even though that's his father still isn't even present every day to be that comfort person for him. So I'm his comfort person, my mom's his comfort person, his babysitter's his comfort person, because those are the three people that are taking care of him consistently every single week. So I asked if we could get an agreement in place just for visitation. So we have like a plan, a set schedule, which I feel is very appropriate because the court would do that anyways. And I want my son to be loved by everybody. He deserves to have love from his dad's side of the family. I would love for them to be apart, and it's always been like that. So I told him that I would be happy for my son to start going up there 1 weekend a month, like he asked, after they come and meet him and get familiar with him in his home environment. Because again, he doesn't know them. He doesn't know them. He's never been around them. They've never been around him as a toddler. Like, he's almost 16 months old now. And he needs that comfort and somebody who actually knows him, knows what he needs, knows what he likes, knows how to soothe him, how to comfort him, so that he's not just going and staying with people who are literally strangers to him. So I told him, just have them come down. Like, even if you just bring your mom, your brother, like, they're welcome to come here. They're welcome to come spend time with him here, take care of him here, so I can be there and he can have familiar face, he can be in a familiar environment, so that it's not so much shock and just, here you go, and then your mom's not here, so bye. And then once they do that and get familiar with him, I'm absolutely happy to send him up there. He said that doesn't work for him. So I asked why, and I got no concrete answer. And then now, ever since I presented that, now he don't want to pay the child support money. Now he don't want to help me with anything with Maverick. And I'm like, I'm not going to get my nails done with this money. Like, I actually pay for childcare every month. I pay for a 2-bedroom apartment so Maverick can have his own space. I pay for groceries every week. I pay for things that he needs, new clothes, shoes, because he's growing like a weed, new toys for his development, books. Like, having a child is not cheap, which made me think about too, is like, I take care of Maverick by myself 99% of the time. 99%. If you factor in that one weekend that his dad comes to play with him, I take care of Maverick 99% of the time. Yet I'm paying for 95% of the financial aspect of him as well. Like, what sense does that make? You're not even paying for 50% of what it costs to care for the child, and now you want to take away even more of that because you're mad that you're not getting what you want, or you're just mad that you don't want to work with me. Like, that's just crazy. The switch up is wild. The second I asked for like some structure, some consistency, to get an agreement in place legally, just so we have something and aren't just winging it, this is the response. That's literally financial abuse, and that's affecting nobody but my child. This has been stressing me out for days. One, because I can't just stop paying for things for my child. Like, I have to still buy milk, diapers, new clothes, new shoes. I can't stop that. I can't stop. But he just thinks that that's a choice just because he wants to pout that I asked for his family to come get familiar with our son before I just send him there for the weekend. But I don't know, is that unreasonable, do you think? Like, would you send your child around people that they don't know for a whole weekend without you? It just doesn't make sense to me to do that. And the ultimatums of like not financially supporting your child just because you're mad that I want to get something legal in place, which again the court would do anyways once we get stuff filed for that. So it's like, I don't know. I do want to be careful with like how much of that I give on here though, because I know now at this point with the response of me even asking that, he's gonna try to do and say anything because he's already like, I'm documenting everything. Like,
so my daughter's father calls me the other day and he goes, hey, can you put a stop to the child support court order? It's almost like he expected me to be like, oh yeah, let me go do that for you. Let me go do that right now. I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it. Anything else? Do you need anything else? You want me to wipe your ass too? It took me 7 years to get a child support court order. The biggest reason that he's so upset about it is because he thinks doing a one-time monthly payment versus weekly or bi-weekly payments is insane. He thinks it's super unfair to have to do one payment. And I'm sitting on the phone with this 30-year-old grown-ass fucking child saying, hey, it's the same as making weekly payments like what we were doing before. Just put that money aside on a weekly basis and then make the one-time payment. I don't understand how child support is like rocket science for men. And he also had, fuck, it's way too much. He also had the audacity to say to me that he's been consistent. Because of his consistency, I should get rid of this court order. Bitch, I got the court order because you were never consistent. And just blow my mind.
Hey, baby daddies who think that baby moms should not be getting their nails done or eyelashes done or, God forbid, taking a trip or anything because they must be doing it with your money. Let me tell you a little something about children. They grow. They grow really, really rapidly, and their sizes change rapidly. So while your child may have brand new shoes one day, I can tell you, and many mothers who provide for their children can tell you, that you will likely have a lot of brand new stuff that ends up not fitting. Yeah, because they grow really fast. It's like wild the way that works. So while mom maybe went and got her hair done or something like that, not expecting to need new shoes that week. So, her bad. She let you know the child needs new shoes that week. But you pay child support. So where's that money? Why is your hair done? Shut up. Just shut up. Get over yourself. Grow a pair. Be a man and take care of your children. And if you don't have the money to, just say that. You don't have to try to make the mom who probably already feels terrible having to ask you for anything because God knows the way that you are. She knows the way that you are. How humbling that she needed to let you know what she needed for the shared child that you guys have. And then you have to try to make her feel like absolutely nothing. Like, as a mother who's raising young men, they will not be allowed to behave this way if they end up sharing a child with a woman that they are no longer with. They will know better.
I don't believe in child support. You think I'm about to be chasing you down, running in and out of courts, doing all this paperwork, having all them people in my business and in my finances to get you to be a daddy? To force you to take care of a child that you helped create? I'm not doing that. For what? For money? Boy, keep that money. We make money. To be a provider, God is my source. God provides. She does not go without. She has never gone without. Even when it gets hard, I don't speak struggle over my situation. I'm not struggling. And the gag is the single moms with deadbeat daddies who don't do nothing for their kids be way better off. Live in better homes. They drive better cars. Their kids go to better schools. Their kids have better manners. We don't miss. Now, I understand the system of child support is there for a reason, but I'm saying for my life, I don't believe in child support. I'm not willing to diminish all that God has done and is doing in my life by focusing on what someone isn't willing to do. I'm not begging anyone to be in my child's life. I was not called to beg. I'm not begging you to take care of your kid. God already told me I was called to be above and not beneath, the head and not the tail, a lender and not a borrower. And child support is begging. It's beneath who God called me to be, and I'm not doing it. Because you don't want to provide, don't. And I'm not stressing about no child support. Boy, keep that money. I promise. Keep it.
I'm so pissed off right now. I took my kids to get medical care. The doctor goes, I need the insurance cards. I say, My ex won't give me the insurance cards. I have the medical number. And they said, well, legally he should. There's a lot of legal things he should do that he doesn't do. He's supposed to pay you half of that house. You own that house. Yeah, he's supposed to. Oh no, he has to pay you child support. Yeah, is he? No, he is not. Here's a word for word conversation between us. I say, please send updated insurance cards. He goes, I don't know, I sent you the information via email. No email was sent today, send the insurance cards. I don't know, it's the same information you used for an appointment and prescription. Never used any of that. That's all I have when I sent it. Again, send the insurance cards. I don't have insurance cards, all I have is a member ID number. Is this a successful co-parent, or is this someone being so difficult for no reason at all? It cost me so much legal fees of back and forth with my attorney to get this person to behave like a reasonable adult. How did I have children with somebody like this?
And for the dads who have joint custody of their children, who have a 50-50 parenting plan, they should not have to pay child support. Why does that man have to support his child in both homes when the man only lives in one home? It's like he's no longer a man. He's like a sugar daddy now to the woman. Like he has to pay for part of her bills. And then he still provides for the child 100% on his 50% of time with the child. That will never make sense to me. Like, oh, so the child has the same kind of lifestyle in both homes. I mean, I think that's where letting the child take their phone back and forth, letting them take their tablet back and forth kind of comes into play, where it's like their things, their personal belongings, they should be able to take it with them. But having to give the mother money and then also be degraded 9 times out of 10. 9 times out of 10, the woman receiving child support is more hateful to the man than the woman who doesn't.
Okay, single mom on Thanksgiving. So if this is like a triggering thing for you, please scroll. Or if you don't like single moms or whatever, please scroll. But so single mom on Thanksgiving. Even though I have custody and I have my daughter, holidays are hard. They're hard for me, they're hard for her, like all the things. It's just a lovely reminder that you have a broken family. But I've kind of embraced it. I've let it kind of just be what it is, and I love it. I love her. I love my life. I have no complaints. She doesn't. She doesn't understand it. She doesn't. I mean, she likes it, right? But she definitely wishes her dad was a part of her life more. But then I just see this type of stuff and it just irks me. And I'm just thinking, you don't see her very often, at all. And on Thanksgiving, you can't even take but 5 seconds to call her and say Happy Thanksgiving. It's 9:45. We've been, she's had all day. Not one single. She has her own tablet. He can call her on her tablet whenever they want. They can talk to each other whenever they want. And she's stopped reaching out just by her choice. She's not going to reach out all the time. But how do you not call? How do you not? It's Thanksgiving. It's the day that we give thanks, and how do you forget about your kid? How? I mean, she's the most important thing in my life. The most important. I could never go even a day without speaking to her. And my mom, me and my mom talk. And I'm not saying you have to be close with your parents as an adult, but she's 5. And even as much as you haven't been in her life, you still would think that she would be a thought on Thanksgiving. And it only hurts me because it hurts her. But I'm genuinely like those parents out there that you've forgotten about your kids, you've moved on. How?
A single mother is allowed to spend her child support money on whatever she wants, and let me tell you why. I've been seeing a lot of controversy on what a woman can and cannot spend her child support money on. People are making TikToks about it, people are talking on their podcasts about it, saying that a single mother is not allowed to spend her child support money on her electricity, on her rent, or on her Wi-Fi. Let me just break it down for you on why a single mother is allowed to spend child support money on whatever she would like. So let's say a single mother goes to the store on the first of the month and she buys her child all new clothes and all new shoes, and she spends $300 on her child, and now her child has everything they need. But then on the 15th of the month, she goes back to the store to buy diapers and wipes for her child and spends $200, right? That's $500. Now let's say on the 21st of the month, the father of her child sends her $350. She is allowed to take money from that child support and pay her electric. She is allowed to pay her Wi-Fi. She is allowed to use that money for her rent, because that money is a reimbursement of what she already spent on the child, and it's not even a complete reimbursement. Not to mention, a lot of these men that are paying child support are only paying what the judge tells them to pay. So they are not helping cover the cost of childcare the single mom is paying for, just so she could put her child in childcare so that she can work to pay for that childcare. And best believe those men are not paying for food for the child weekly, are not buying new clothes for the child, are not buying new shoes for the child. They're only sending a set amount that woman has to deal with. So if a single mother is paying for everything for her child throughout the month, and the father of her child has to pay $10 in child support, $100 in child support, or $1,000 in child support, every amount is different, and she decides to spend that money on her electric, on her rent, that is fine, because she has already provided for her child.
This comment right here.
And what about that comment?
I really don't think that he's speaking for all men.
Of course, there are always exceptions, but they are most certainly speaking for the vast majority of men.
Because I know that there will be somebody that steps up one day to be some sort of father figure for my child.
It's very possible. However, do bear in mind that women with children are not at the top of a man's dating priority list. They are in fact near the bottom.
It's also I'm very surprised that you felt comfortable actually typing this out and commenting on someone's video.
I'm actually surprised that one didn't already realize that most men actually felt that way.
Like, it's just the wildest thing.
No, it's not. It's actually almost common sense.
You don't know my circumstances with my child, or his father.
Well, that's true. Not every single mother has 2 or 3 baby daddies, and some single mothers are the product of being widowed or are divorced. However, the fact remains the same that most men do not want to raise another man's child.
Yeah, that's basically it. So, hopefully he's not speaking for all men out there, but this was just really disappointing to see.
Reality often can be very disappointing, can't it? But no, unfortunately, that person does actually speak for the majority of men.
Nope! Please stop asking for support from single child-free women. Because you said in one of your other comments, it's our responsibility as single people to make sure that mothers have everything that they need. No! That is not my responsibility. It's the responsibility of you and whoever you made a baby with to make sure that you have everything that you need. Do you know how much we give in our taxes for shit we don't even use? I don't know you, so enjoy the playground that I just paid for that I'm never going to use, and the school that just got another, resource teacher that I'm never going to send a kid to. Fire it up and use snack! Besides, single and child-free women are more likely to vote in the interest of mothers more than mothers themselves. Look at our most recent fucking election. Demanding more from people just because they're single and they're child-free is the most insane shit I have ever heard in my life. Look, when we establish reciprocal relationships, I think it's wonderful to help and support each other. But assuming that because I am child-free and I am single, I have nothing but fucking endless amounts of energy and time to give to you? What? Girl, I'm busy. I'm busy trying to do all this shit myself. Because we don't live in a communal society where everything is free and people have access to the services that they need. I'm out here raw dogging life alone just to make sure that I can put food on the table and pay my bills so that I'm not out on the street. You know what I'm saying? I do not have an endless amount of resources to give because I too am in this capitalistic hellscape nightmare alone. So if this were a two-way street where if you wanted more from single people and child-free people, I would ask, what are you giving in return? Or do you just think that you are entitled to shit because you decided to procreate?
I don't typically comment on influencer drama, but I just saw something that pissed me off, okay? Some influencer named Claire made this post about how, long story short, she's pregnant. And she went to like this pregnancy class or something, and her husband wasn't able to go. But there were other couples there as a couple, and she was so concerned that people would judge her and think she was just a single mom that got knocked up. Just a single mom. And she says she wished she would have worn a name tag that said, I'm married. And then there's all these people that are like, no, don't be mad. Don't be upset that you offended some people. People are just too sensitive. It's not that people are sensitive or that people are like really offended. It's that she just gave herself away. I know exactly what kind of person she is now, and so do all the other people that are disgusted by the comments she made. Okay, I'm not offended, I'm disgusted. It's so clear that if you're worried about somebody having those weird judgments about you, you were the one making those judgments, making those negative assumptions about other people. Those are the voices in your head. You're worried about being echoed back to you. That says a little more about you than it does about society, okay? By the way, single moms are fucking superheroes, and so are single dads. Like, I can't even imagine. I ain't even raised a kid with a partner. I can't imagine raising a kid by myself. Oh my gosh. So that's just, I hope she reflects and learns from this, and I hope the rest of the internet does too, that thinks people being sensitive, finding fault in what she said, because there's a lot of fault in what she said. And also, I'm going to say a little spicy, okay? I wish I could wear a name tag that said, not married, marked safe for marriage, okay? Because over 50% of marriages end in divorce, even higher percentage of that are unhappy marriages, and guess what? I don't like the idea of somebody assuming that I'm in a marriage that more than likely is unhappy. I'm not unhappy. Anyway, just a thought. Do better. Self-reflect. Think on this. Grow from this.
I was told not to speak about this, and honestly, it just makes me want to speak about this even more. And not because I want to talk crap or any of that kind of stuff. It's just, life is really hard to just keep it all in and not share it. And to be honest, yes, this is my second divorce. Yes, I'm 25 years old, and I know that's embarrassing. Like, that sounds embarrassing. Like, oh, you must be the problem. Oh my gosh, 25 and your second divorce. Yes, I am going through another divorce, and I am going to speak about it. Not going to share the reasons specifically why, because yes, the person does deserve privacy. But all I can say is that this is a very difficult time for me. This has been my lowest point ever, and I will never stay, even if I love a man. My kids will always come first, no matter what. I don't care if we're married. And that decision that I made was really hard. It was like the hardest decision I had to make in my entire life. But I know that I made the right choice, because JoJo deserves the best. Isaiah deserves the best. And I will continue to do that always. Now, it's not easy being a single mom again. And I say again because the first time I married, it backfired really fast, a week after to be exact, because cheaters will be cheaters, you know, and unfortunately, or actually I would say thankfully, I got pregnant and I have my JoJo now. The only problem is that just because you get married, it doesn't mean everything will be solved for you or everything's gonna go great. Things don't always turn out the way you plan them to. And yeah, I got pregnant, and I've been carrying the weight by myself with JoJo for the past, I mean, he's gonna be 4. Although in my second marriage I did receive like help for JoJo. I'm happy I have JoJo in my life because I don't have to go through this alone, but I am sad that I couldn't give JoJo a father figure. I am sad about it. I am. Now, Isaiah has a great father figure, and I'm so happy for that, but it's still unfortunate that I couldn't give both my children what they deserved. And there won't be a third. There won't be a third try. You know how they say, 3rd time's the charm. No, I ain't doing that anymore. And I'm gonna struggle for who knows how long until they're older and they're able to, you know, be independent. But for now, I still have to continue to work very hard, and I still have to continue to be in this state co-parenting because that's where my second child was born and that's where his father is, and I have to stay here and I'm stuck regardless of my circumstances. And I have to constantly be trying to find new babysitters because they all quit. They all quit after like 2 weeks because I can't afford that much. So I'm constantly with fear that I might get fired at my job because this past month I've been late twice because my babysitters are so unreliable and they just quit. And this is gonna be my life for who knows how many years until my kids go into school. I don't know, but they're still very young, so that's still gonna continue for a long time. And not just that, but I don't have my family here. Like, I miss my mom, I miss all of them, and they're in a different country. Like, there's nothing I can do about it because I'm co-parenting and I have to stay here. But I also can't have the support of my soon-to-be ex-husband because if we want to do it the correct way and co-parent the right way, I have to keep to myself and I have to do things on my own. And I can't ask his family for help because that's his family. And the minute I decide to divorce him, which I'm in the process of doing right now, I can't receive help from his family. And it's unfortunate for me because I'm the loneliest I've ever been. I'm at the lowest financially too. My car is I don't think my car will make it another winter here. It needs tires, it needs brakes, it needs a lot of things. And it's just a constant stress of thinking, shoot, are we gonna make it this month? Like, and then on top of that, like, just feeling all the weight. Anyways, this page is only about positivity. And the reason why I speak like a lot of positive stuff is because I've heard this saying that if you speak positive thoughts, you will feel positive. So that's why I speak positive things all the time, not because I feel good right now or because I just try to trick my brain into thinking everything's okay when honestly, like, I'm not doing that okay. Every day I feel worried, I feel stressed, and I know that there's bigger problems, you know, like at least we're all alive and we're healthy, but it really is hard being a single mom again. But I know that at the end of the day, it's going to be worth it. And my kids will know that I chose them. And one day they're going to realize how hard I worked for them. And I also hope that they know how much I love them. So for that person who commented on my other post saying, like, oh, you left your second marriage because you were bored. That's not why I left. It's funny. That's funny. Yeah, I was just so bored that I left, and now I'm in this situation, and I keep choosing this situation just because I don't want to be bored. Trust me. I am still grateful at the end of the day for what I have, and I'm still grateful to know that there's still a few people in my life who care about me, and I will continue to use this platform to vent because at the end of the day, it's mainly just strangers. It's a safe space, right? We can just vent and no one really cares. I mean, except for the haters who come here and like talk crap to me, but whatever. I don't have to stay silent about all this. This is my journey and I will speak on it, and my married days are over. I don't have to stay silent anymore. If there's some truth that I want to share and it's my journey, I'm gonna share it. And it is what it is. So if any of this makes you uncomfortable, then just exit out my page. Don't look at my stuff. that's how I feel today, and hopefully tomorrow's a better day. We will continue to try and stay positive because that's all we can do at this point, and hopefully life gets better, not just for me but for my kids, because that's all that I care about. That is all I care about. Have a good day.
I'm a single mother with 5 kids, but I'm a motherfucking catch.
Let's hear it.
And I'm going to tell you why, okay? I have experience, okay? That means I am well seasoned.
Well seasoned. That's what you want to call it. All right, we'll call it that. Let's keep going.
I am aged with wisdom, okay? Because, you know, a lot of us is out here getting old and ain't getting wise. So let me put that out there. I'm getting older and wiser, all right? So I have a lot of knowledge to bring to the table, okay? A lot of level-headedness that I have grown to acquire, all right, by the grace of God, all right? And also, on top of all of the intangible things.
2 things. Everything you just listed that you bring to the table really has no value to a man. And secondly, if it did have value to him, he can find it in a woman that does not have 5 kids. But let's keep going.
I am highly good looking, okay?
She laughed at the end of that statement because she doesn't even believe that shit. Listen, I'm not saying there's not a guy out there that would want to date you with your 5 kids, but more than likely, it's not going to be the kind of guy that you want.